Chapter 3, Lesson 3, The Middle Colonies, New York and New Jersey. By 1660, England had two groups of colonies in North America. In the north were the New England colonies. In the south was Virginia, and also the colony of Maryland, which was settled in 1634. Between these two groups of colonies were lands under Dutch control. This area was called New Netherland. The main settlement of New Netherland was New Amsterdam on Manhattan Island. This location combined a good seaport with access to the Hudson River. The river served as a major transportation link to a rich land of farms, forests, and furs. As a result, New Amsterdam became a center of shipping to and from the Americas. The Dutch West India Company controlled New Netherland. It wanted to increase the colony's population. To do this, the company offered large grants of land to anyone who could bring at least 50 settlers to work the land. The landowners who received these grants were called patroons. The patroons ruled like kings. They had their own courts and laws. Settlers owed the patroons labor and a share of their crops. New Netherland becomes New York. New Netherland's success did not go unnoticed. The English wanted to gain control of the valuable Dutch colony. England insisted it had a right to the land based on John Cabot's exploration in the late 1400s. In 1664, the English sent a fleet to attack New Amsterdam. Peter Stuyvesant, governor of the colony, surrendered it to the English forces without a fight. England's King Charles gave the colony to his brother, the Duke of York, who named it New York. New York was a proprietary colony. This was a colony in which an owner, or proprietor, owned all the land and controlled the government. Not until 1691 did the English government allow citizens of New York to elect their legislature. New York continued to prosper under English control. It had a diverse population made up of Dutch, German, Swedish, and Native American people. Also among the population were people of the Jewish religion. They were the first Jews to settle in North America. In 1664, New York had about 8,000 residents, including at least 300 enslaved Africans. By 1683, the population had swelled to about 12,000 people. New Amsterdam, which had been renamed New York City, was one of the fastest growing places in the colonies. Founding New Jersey. The Duke of York decided to divide his colony. He gave the land between the Hudson and Delaware rivers to Lord John Berkeley and Sir George Carteret. The two proprietors named their colony New Jersey after the English Channel island of Jersey, where Carteret was born. To attract settlers, the proprietors offered large tracts of land and also promised freedom of religion, trial by jury, and a representative assembly. Like New York, New Jersey had a diverse population. There were people of many different racial, religious, and national backgrounds, that is, many different ethnic groups. New Jersey had no natural harbors, so it did not develop a major port or city like New York. New Jersey's proprietors made few profits. Both eventually sold their shares in the colony. By 1702, New Jersey had become a royal colony. However, the colonists continued to make local laws. Pennsylvania and Delaware. The Quakers, a Protestant group that had been persecuted in England, founded the colony of Pennsylvania. In 1680, William Penn, a wealthy English Quaker, received the land in payment for a debt King Charles owed Penn's father. Pennsylvania, or Penn's Woods, stretched inland from the Delaware River. The new colony was nearly as large as England. William Penn saw Pennsylvania as a holy experiment, a chance to put his Quaker ideals into practice. The Quakers, or Society of Friends, believed that everyone was equal. People could follow their own inner light rather than the teachings of a religious leader. Quakers were also pacifists, or people who refused to use force or fight in wars. Penn was an active proprietor. In 1682, he sailed to America to supervise the building of Philadelphia, a name that means City of Brotherly Love. Penn designed the city himself. He also wrote Pennsylvania's first constitution. Penn believed that the land belonged to the Native Americans and that settlers should pay for it. He negotiated several treaties with local Native Americans. Penn advertised his colony throughout Europe. By 1683, more than 3,000 English, Welsh, Irish, Dutch, and German settlers had arrived. In 1701, in the Charter of Privileges, Penn granted colonists the right to elect representatives to the legislature. Philadelphia quickly became America's most prosperous city and its most popular port. People from Sweden had settled land in southern Pennsylvania before the Dutch, and then the English took over the area. Penn allowed these southern counties to form their own legislature. The counties then functioned or worked as a separate colony known as Delaware. However, Delaware remained under the authority of Pennsylvania's governor.